Good. We're good to go? All right, welcome everybody tonight to our actually December workshop meeting, but it's November 29th. We have with us our town board. We have Steve Moreau, Steve Bedetti, Sylvia Santiago, um, Kelly Allegra, our town clerk, Anthony Feo, our highway superintendent, and Dave Zagon, our town attorney, and Robert Doss, our police chief. And I'm George Myers. Is Eve Lincoln here? Patrick?
She signed in.
Signed in? Okay, so I think our new to be council person is with us too, Eve Lincoln. So listen, we have just a short agenda, but we'll go over it. The first item on the agenda is we're having our annual Christmas tree lighting, which is Friday at 6 p.m. at Town Hall. Just reminded the people that Santa Claus will be showing up, and our Recreation Department under Matt Veronese has lots of things planned for us, I'm sure. Right, Matt?
Yep.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is this certified unpaid utilities levy, which seems to have taken on a life of its own, but the county has extended this, and now we'll have the final resolution on for December. There was some $57 shortage or overage that they have agreed to let it go. Now, I think I'd like to thank Dave Zagon for his work on this. We were going to be in trouble with this for a while until Dave got involved with this, and we had some discussion with the county attorney, right, Dave? Is he still talking to you?
I'm not sure.
All right, now you did a good job getting that done because we were going to be in trouble for about $800,000. So this is fun to be resolved. The next item I have on the agenda is this. Let's talk about a life of its own. Is this new ethics code that we're trying to put together? There's always been some issues with this, so I think let's see any of the board members have anything they want to. Steve Bedetti, you've been talking about this for a while. What changes do you think you want to have?
I spoke to Dave today, just in reference to a couple of the, like the residency list for people that get hired off a civil service list. We were required, if you were hired off the town residency list, you had to stay in town for 5 years. If you're hired off the county list, you didn't have to, which I thought was kind of odd. Figured that'd be, either make it even for both or nothing. I know last meeting, I think you said you wanted everybody that lived in town, I believe.
That would be my position. I like, if you're going to work here, you should live here. That certainly sometimes cuts down the pool of people, but I think whenever we hire, we do definitely try to hire from a town list when we can. But if we have to go to a county list, do we want to get in a position where we have to tell somebody to have to move here? I guess that's the question.
Yeah, that's.
And the other question is, do we want people hired off the town list who live here to live here forever and ever, or for a period of time? Anybody have any comments on that? No.
I mean, I mean, just my opinion. I think if we're going to make it for one, we should do it for everybody, or don't do it at all. I just think it limits us.
Okay, so are we talking about forever and ever, or are we talking about a time limit?
No,
So
I would
saying
say
that we say everybody. What's that?
I would say a time period. I mean, some people choose to move their kid to a different school district, or their job might relocate them. Their significant other's job might relocate them to force them to stay here. Could be wife of a military person, something.
Well, to me, it kind of defeats the purpose. I mean, I really think that if we're paying you, that you should kind of live here, but that's just an opinion. And the county list, I think that would really narrow us down. That if we make someone move into town. So I don't know. So let's see, Sylvia, Steve Moreau, you have any opinion or thoughts on this?
I mean, my thoughts aren't specifically to what's on these sheets. I mean, for the most part, I'm fine with it. I have other issues with the ethics board, so I don't know if this is
I
where you
mean,
want-
about this particular issue, any?
No, I don't, but I do have other comments I'd like to add, but we'll do it whenever you feel it's ready.
Okay. How about you, Sylvia? Anything on this?
No, is it at the moment that if a New Windsor resident is hired off the New Windsor list, or that they're required to stay for 5 years, that's what it is right now, or it's not? That's what's being proposed.
I don't know. I mean, at
That's
some point,
proposed.
go ahead.
That's proposed. That's not the case.
5 years is proposed.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, I think that maybe this is an issue that we really need to resolve. I think that since we have that fifth council person coming on in January, that I think she probably needs some time to look at this and see if she has any comments on this. And then I think maybe when we get down to it, Dave, do you have any thoughts on this at all? Now, or you, let's take a
The
harder
only
look
thing
at it.
that I just thought of, if you want to discuss it, with the board at some or
All right.
perhaps
Okay,
is
so that's
maybe-
one. Stephen, Daddy, what else do you have?
There was just some spelling stuff that I went over with Dave that he took some sentences out and added a couple of words to that was cleaning up. Other than that, I was good with it.
So let me just say this, we're all good with that, there should not be a town employee on this ethics board itself, right? Everybody's good with that, right? That just causes too much consternation for that person. I think that was clear. So that was one that we could change.
And
So
that's in there.
that's in this new one?
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
in the proposed.
Yes.
Okay, so that will stay in. So Steve Moreau, you said you had some comments?
I think that the missing entity should be filled. So what it is we have to do to get that filled, whether it's put it on the website or start working on getting that seat filled. That's one. I think that some of the things such as what happened in this current election shouldn't happen. I think anyone on the ethics board shouldn't be, their public opinion on politicians in the town shouldn't be displayed. And I also think that the way they handled their findings with me was unethical. And I think the whole board should be replaced, in my opinion. But
Oh, ethics board?
yeah, sure. Yep.
Okay, so anybody else have that opinion? Stephen Bedetti? Want to replace them all?
What's that? The ethics board people?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something that we should have a discussion with, honestly.
But replace
it's
the whole board?
I know the only way to replace a whole entire board anyway is have it's not a majority vote, it's everybody.
Mhm.
So I would think it's a discussion in reference to what Steve said in reference to some people displaying the banner, if you will, and then voting on us. I think should be looked at.
Sylvia? You want to replace the whole ethics board?
No, I don't think the whole board should be replaced if you institute rules going forward, and so forth, if that's something that we all agree on, but I don't think the whole board needs to be replaced.
All right. Okay, I don't think it should be, the whole board should be replaced. I mean, somebody I think may be up this time. I have to check with Jess, but I think there is somebody whose term might be up. Listen, it's kind of a thankless job. I would think, being an ethics board member. I mean, there's no pay. They put in a lot of time. And probably no matter what they come up with, somebody's not gonna like it. Just the way it is. But in my opinion, there needs to be somebody to look at government who's not in government. Whether they are able to look at it honestly and with the right reasons, that's, I guess, a story for another day. But I really think that there should be some oversight on elected officials. That's just my opinion. Anything else, Steve?
You didn't address the political affiliation piece.
As far as what party they belong to?
Not belong to, but it shouldn't be displayed who they're supporting.
I mean, were they publicly just saying that?
Don Beege went in the paper promoting you. Don Beege had your signs all over his lawn. So I think that's inappropriate for someone on the ethics board.
So we're saying, listen, I think that even though they're on the ethics board, they're still residents and they still have certain rights, I would say. But okay, anybody else have a comment on that particular issue? Okay. Anything else, Steve Monroe?
No, I'm good.
No? How about you, Sylvia?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so my comment's just that I don't think an employee should be on that ethics board. It makes it too difficult on them. I think that I did get a call from Larry Lishower, who's the chairman, and he thought that a town employee should be on that ethics board. So I think that we all pretty much disagree with that it puts that employee in a tough spot. I had two things that I think that you can't be a town employee and elected official going forward. We would grandfather in Steve Budetti, but I think going forward that you can't be. Anybody have any comments on that? You cannot be a town employee and be an elected official too. Comments, Steve Budetti?
No, I agree, because given the light of what happened with this election, it puts supporters and everybody else in a bad position, if you will. And somebody like myself as an employee. So I guess to take that out of their hands.
So you agree with that? Steve Moreau?
Yeah, I'm fine with the change. I was fine without it, so it doesn't matter to me.
Okay. Sylvia?
Agree.
Great. Okay. The other thing I had is that there should be no sale or no rental of any properties, town-owned properties, to any town employee. Nobody. I think that may be covered in the state ethics code, but I think it wouldn't hurt to put in here that we cannot sell or rent anything to any town employee. Steve Budetti?
Yeah, I agree. Dave, does that change some wording that we talked about earlier or no? Like, I know there was some stuff that didn't include employees. It was just,
I'd have to take a look at it. I
Okay.
don't think it's the way that it's currently
All right.
proposed.
Steve Moreau, any comments?
So earlier this year, George, you had spoke to Ray regarding purchases of Stewart Airport property, and Ray and I are partners on those. I didn't know if that pertains to this or not.
No, you were talking about Ray Yanoni?
Yeah.
No, Ray was in here talking about buying some property, but we never kind of got anywhere. And this was always in my mind that he always said that you were not really a partner. You were just doing money and he was doing building. So I just kind of let it go. And he has never been back again.
Okay, so that interest wasn't towards what would be anything I was affiliated, was just what Ray was affiliated in.
Yeah, he was kind of making that case then to me.
Well, the properties that are adjoining to the pieces you were talking about with Ray, I own also with Ray.
Okay, so then you are a partner.
That would be, yes.
Okay. So that's what I would say would
Those are the
fall under a
properties
no.
disclosed on the ethics form. That's what's disclosed, you know.
All right, so Dave, I think what you have enough now to kind of put something together and get it to the town board members and also to Eve Lincoln so we can look at it. And I don't know that January may be a tough month to get this done because of the reorganization meeting, but we certainly should get it into everybody's hands. And if people want to put it on for January, I'm okay with it, but I just would say that we're very busy here with the reorganization meeting in January. So I'll be looking for you to, you've got these comments tonight, you've got whatever comments you had before, put something together and we'll get it to the board members, all right? But I really would like to get this done at some point in time. It's been kicking around a long time. And I'm gonna check to see about who is up on the ethics board. And then that'll be on a reorganization meeting. All right, so that's where we are with that. The next thing on my agenda is this generator maintenance contract. What happened is Jack Finnegan came to me, our controller, and was a little concerned that we had too many people servicing these generators, and we wanted to get just one person that we would deal with. So we sent it out for a bid, and we got one back from the local Joe Sage, and it's for 30 plus a month. There might be 36 generators that are out there. So he has submitted a proposal, which everybody has a copy of. So that'll be on Wednesday's agenda. And we get that under one roof is what we're trying to do. Make it easier on Jack and easier on John Agito and Weeks, who deal with this all the time. The next item on the agenda is I sent everybody a copy of this. I've been talking to Matt Veronese, who's our recreation director, about some grant for outdoor fitness equipment that he's been talking to some people about. Everybody has a copy of this. So I asked Matt to stop by tonight. He was here for the menorah lighting, which again, thank Matt for putting that together. And I just wanted Matt to kind of make a brief presentation to the board members so we all are understanding what this project is, and then I'll have some comments after. Matt?
Sure, there's a minute and 30-second video that can show them what it is, if that's okay.
Does he have it? Patrick has it?
Yeah.
Yeah, put it up. Okay, Matt?
Yeah, so, I don't know, do I have to move over where they see
Yeah, you
me?
come over here.
So originally we were talking that this was something that we were looking at for 2022. But some more funding came about where the original grant was going to be for $30,000. But if we can do this, make a decision shortly and do a PO by, in 2021, we can get an additional $20,000 funding from MVP Healthcare. I think they need it on their books for 2021. It's got to be part of that year. That's why they're rushing it. Also, by doing it now as opposed to 2022, we would also save $10,000 because prices are going up next year. And then the other thing is also with supply chain issues. This stuff is they have this inventory where who knows what would happen if we try to order it, like just trying to order some equipment and things is taking months and months and months and months. But this equipment is in if we can agree to it in 2021. After the $50,000 in grant funding, it's still going to cost the town $100,000 to $110,000 for the equipment and installation, as well as the 38 by 38 foot pad, the concrete pad that this needs to go on. But honestly, I think, hopefully using parkland funds, it wouldn't cost the taxpayer anything, but at the same time, it would offer a lot for all ages, and from, kids right up on the senior citizens. You use your body weight to work out on this stuff, so anybody can do it. Any age can do this, and I think it's, with COVID, everybody is a little more nervous about working out in gyms inside, and I think this would really be popular. Right next to our trail that we have around the park where people run and jog every day. This would give an added a piece of exercise outdoor fitness if we did decide to do it. So, if you guys have any questions, I'd be glad to answer it. If I can't answer it, I'll find out the answer and get back to you.
Amen.
Talk about the pad, how much that costs.
Matt, I have a question.
Right. So Anthony, maybe you could help me on this, but it's saying that a concrete pad could cost 15 to 20,000 if we outsourced it. hopefully we could do a lot of the job ourselves. And I was thinking to get that down closer to I don't know, do you think $10,000 for that size pad, or could you even go less than that? If we did all the, the prep work and everything.
Probably not today's cost, but we could check it out and find out.
So,
All right.
yeah, so
So
that's,
that's something we'd have to do. And what was the business about the installation?
so the installation, that's in that cost that I said would cost us the 100 to 110. It's $25,000 to have it professionally installed, which is included in that number I told you. They said that some people do it themselves, but I don't know, if it's something that you don't want to mess around with, with something like this. And it includes on the pad, you'll have the sports tile that's included. So it's kind of like what we have at our playground. The softer surface will go on top of the concrete pad.
So what would the cost be if for the equipment, we had someone else do the concrete and the installation?
So after our $50,000, it would be 110,000.
110. So what I have been talking to Matt about this for a while, and then they come up with this extra money, and it began to sound like a good deal. I think that the installation would definitely have to be done by them, because if we did it ourselves and something went wrong, they'd say, well, you guys didn't know how much you were doing, so you should have let us do it. So I think that's 25,000 that we have to spend. As far as the pad, that's a whole nother question. We probably could save a few dollars on that if we did it ourselves. I don't think that any town in Orange County has done the things to the recreation program that we've done in the last couple of years. We've updated all the parks. We have all the equipment. We are really trying to get ahead of this a little bit. This looks like something that may work. And what was that number, 110?
110, yeah.
So as we live and breathe, I think we have about 550,000 in that Parklands fund. And there's unfortunately some developments that are starting to kick off. And they're going to start to build, which I think is going to create a lot of traffic issues for us. But on the other hand, they'll be ponying up $3,500 a unit. And one of these projects that's been approved for years and years and years is 300 and some odd units. And another one is 125 units. And both of them happen to be off of that Temple Hill Road. I don't know where all the traffic is supposed to go. So I don't think that the Parklands funds would be an issue. It's just whether or not we want to step up and be a little more innovative than we've been. We replaced equipment and stuff like that, but now we're introducing something new. Problem is, Matt is telling me that we have to get something done by this, like yesterday. But
If not, it would be 30,000 funding we would still get for 2000.
yeah, I don't want to lose the 20,000. If the board members think it's a good idea. Now, everybody's had an opportunity to look at this. I have seen these kind of things in Florida, and they seem to kind of go over okay. We wouldn't have 12 months that this would be used because we'd hit the winter. So that's an issue that we have to look at. The other thing that we have talked about as a board is these splash pads that the kids use. And they seem to be very popular too. That number of, I think the one I'm looking at is like 125,000.
That's the smaller one, or it could be up to 250.
The other one is 250. So that's another thing that I think that probably would work at Chrissy Babcock Park. So when you're thinking about this, I want you to also think about the other thing that we've talked about, these splash pads, and they would really go over well with our camps, and I think they would get a lot of use at Chrissy Babcock Park. So anybody have any thoughts on this project that Matt is kind of asking us to take a look at, this fitness court?
Matt, is there any cost for anybody to use it or no? Just
No, it would be free.
All right. And can other gyms actually use it to take advantage of it, to bring their people there and charge them to use it, or no?
If you could hold classes there that we could run ourselves, or we could, we could charge for actual classes, or if somebody wanted to do it, we could charge them to hold them there.
Yeah, I would think that this is something that would be for our residents. I would not be inclined to rent it out to anybody. Because if we put it together ourselves as a program, as some of these other programs that we offer, the dancing and everything else that we offer, this would be something else that we would offer. We'd have to have somebody who could monitor it and knows what they're doing. But I would not be anxious to rent it out to anybody.
Dave asked a question about insurance. Dave, my understanding is it's just like having a playground in your park, so I don't think it would change our insurance at all. But I surely could, ask around and find out
I'll
more.
just check with Doreen or Jack. I'll make a call.
I have a question, if you don't mind,
Sylvia,
George.
any comments? Sylvia?
Yes, actually, Matt, you had mentioned something about an app. Can you just share a little bit about that, please?
Sure. So the app is part of the program, and when you go there, you have your app, and it'll show you how to do all the different exercises of each station, and it shows multiple different ones. So it's if somebody goes and they're not really sure how to use everything, there's videos that are part of it, and there's not just one per station. They have different exercises per each station that will show you how to do everything, give you how many reps, how many times you should do it, how long you should do it. It's pretty innovative, and it's like having a personal trainer right at your fingertips.
There's no cost for any subscription, no additional cost once the park
No
is.
additional cost. That's part of the program. That initial one-time fee in the overall price.
Thank you.
Steve Moreau?
Yes. So it seems, Matt, what would be the time span in a year? They have an idea when they think it runs, or you probably know when you think it runs through the year. I mean, you can work out today there, right?
Yeah. So they say basically you can even shovel it off with a shovel that's not, that's not a metal shovel. It's a plastic tip shovel, and they say people use it in the wintertime even. They go out there and run, and then they'll use the equipment as long as it's not wet or slippery or anything like that. But they say some people will use it all year round as long as there's not snow standing on it.
Yeah, I mean, I work out every day, so I go to Planet Fitness, and I would work out in my place every day, as opposed to a splash pad, which is only going to get, I don't know who's got, George, you got a pool. When do you open yours and close your pool?
No, the splash pad I'm concentrating on this outdoor fitness court first. So
Right.
any comments on that?
I just thought you brought up the splash pad, didn't you?
Yeah, I just said I want you to have that in your mind. That's something that will come up later.
Okay.
But the splash, yeah, there's a limit to that. And obviously, I mean, would have to do with the weather and, depending on, what do you get, 3-4 months out of it? That's a good question. That's something that we'd have to talk about.
Yeah, it's basically Memorial Day to Labor Day.
It's that kind of period. It's just like, but this particular thing, the fitness court is something that I need to kind of see where you are now. The splash pad, we have time to talk about that. I just wanted you to be aware of the fact that it's out there.
Anybody
it. I
can
think
use
it's
this,
cool.
right? I assume anybody can
yeah.
use this? My only thought was that, just to kind of correlate this to the dog park, that we're charging people to use it, and it's far less than this was. This is something we might want to consider opening to the public as well.
Or less, what are you saying?
No,
What
I'm
do you
just
mean
thinking
far less?
we're going to spend $110,000, if you will, on an outside exercise thing, and anybody
Right.
can use it whenever they want. We're no charge, and
Right.
at outsiders. And we
Right.
have a park the dog park, we charge town residents to come use, and you spent far less on that. Just trying to be fair here.
All right, listen, I think the point that you just brought up there about outsiders, if I had my way, our parks would be just for town residents, period, end of sentence. There's some issues with that as far as how we're gonna check IDs, you gotta have people there and things like that. So with the dog park, it's the dogs that are an issue. And we have to make sure that they have their shots, they have to make sure that they're not dangerous dogs. There's a lot. This thing here is you just go there and you, like me, I get up in the morning, I go for a jog, or I do some push-ups, lift some weights, and this is the same thing. You just go there. The dog park, I think we have to have some control over that because of the animals. This is just people.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
I
I
think-
agree.
The dog park, we've made it pretty inexpensive, I think. We've also cut a break for seniors and veterans. But I think we just need to keep a handle on it more than anything else. And listen, there has been some complaints up there, some silly, some not so silly. But I just think that we need to have some control over it. This is like our playground equipment. You go to slides with your grandson and you put him on a slide and he's there, no one's checking you out. This is the same kind of thing. The other thing is something happens, there's some issues we have to be aware of with dogs, and we've had some issues already. So that's my comment. So do we let Matt ask for this PO?
The other
Steady?
part, George, I'd like to just finish what I was saying,
Go ahead.
if that's okay. We have places here that pay rent and they have memberships such as Planet Fitness and whatever fitness places are in New Windsor. One, does it compete? You know what I mean? That's my point. Does it compete? You know what I mean?
Will this compete with that?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I don't, listen, the gym is the gym. I mean, there's, you got the free weights, the other weights. I mean, I don't know what they have there, but this is a different kind of workout. I've been kind of looking at it myself because you know that I'm kind of like that myself. I like to kind of be active and work out.
Yeah, I think people that are using looking for heavy weights and different things like that are still going to have their gym membership because they're not, you use your body weight for this. So I don't think it's going to be for everybody. I think it's going to be, like George said, for people keep trying to just stay in shape and burn calories and, do some strength training, but it's not weightlifting. It's not
No.
the same thing.
I think it might give somebody who goes there maybe that doesn't do anything, maybe some impetus to let me try this, see what it is.
Hey,
So-
George, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, all right, so I'm not trying to throw a roadblock in anything,
Go
but
ahead.
I know the gym equipment, wherever we purchased that from, it was off of some bid that the company had won, right? Because I'm concerned about general municipal law.
Yeah, this is on the same one we just got the playground equipment on, Dave. I'm pretty sure. I'll find out, but it's on one of those purchasing agreements. Yeah,
Okay, all right, just make sure.
I'll find out. I can find out exactly which one it's on. It's not with state contract or what's the other one that Sourcewell. I believe it's Sourcewell.
Okay, all right.
That's a good
I'll
point.
find out. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's Sourcewell.
Okay, so I guess we'll have to do a little straw poll here. I am in favor of it. So Steve Moreau,
I'm on the fence.
Steve Bedetti,
Yeah, I'll go with it.
Sylvia,
In favor of it.
I didn't hear you.
I'm in favor, yes.
Okay, so we'll get the PO. We'll see where it goes. But I need to be sure that those numbers, before I sign anything.
I'll find. The only thing I'm not sure of is the concrete slab. It says 15 to 20 could be if we outsourced it to somebody.
Yeah, but I just want to be sure before we do anything.
Yeah.
And how much money are they looking for up front?
Nothing till it ships out. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
George, if this number deviates a lot from that 100 and 110, can you? I know you will, but can you
Yeah,
shoot us
no.
an email?
Definitely, yeah. No, you know that no one is
Yeah.
more
No,
conscious of numbers than me.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, so off we go with that one. And you'll need two things though, double check with Jack on the,
Sourcewell and the insurance and Sourcewell.
and-
Got it.
and Dave's
Okay.
comments.
Thank you.
Maybe always trying to kill off my projects. I just think, listen, once again, I think this board has kind of gone over and above of recreation of just about any town in Orange County. I mean, is that right, Matt?
Absolutely.
I mean, I think
I appreciate all the support.
Well, people look to us to what we're doing, and I think that, I see our parks are crowded all the time. When I drive by, I see cars in there all the time. So I think people, especially now with COVID, people just want to get out of the house. All right, the last item on the agenda is the health benefits again. This is another thing that has taken a life of its own. At least it's on the agenda in the public session. So we had talked about this at the last workshop. I think we had all agreed. Then when we took a vote, Steve Moreau and Steve Bedetti voted no. So I'm just wondering, do you have another proposal that you want to put down since you voted no on this? Stephen Bedetti?
Yeah, I do. So like I had said last time, and I said several times that there's I'm totally against the part-timers having medical benefits for life.
Okay.
I think that was a crime that had happened and shouldn't be. I am in favor of those of part-time elected officials of having medical benefits while they work here. However, I am okay with them doing it the same as the current, and I'll use, for example, a new CSEA employee pays, and this is the 2022 things, numbers. 25% of the individual plan for 2022 would cost a council member $3,540, which equates to $295 a month. And 50% of the family plan would cost them $9,120 a year, which is $760 a month. They would get the same exact thing as a full-time CSA employee, if you will, that got hired here. So they're not better than anybody or less.
You said a full-time employee,
No,
right?
yeah, a full-time CSA employee right now gets hired, has to pay those numbers.
Yeah, but I'm talking about a part-time elected official. You're
So
talking
I'm
about
talking, and I'm just saying that part-time elected official, I'm okay with, because they're elected making these decisions, that they should be able to get the insurance, but have to pay the same thing as a full-time current employee or a new employee.
So you're
And
saying
that,
a part-time elected official should pay the same as a full-time.
yes, that's been happening since 2005. And I think that, the buyouts would still benefit us by somebody like either yourself or Sylvia, or I'm not certain 100% where Eve's at, but I think the buyout's a good idea too, to keep you out of the plan.
Well, that's why we introduced it a million years ago. Save
Yeah,
a lot of- By the way, the cost this year's gone up from 30,000 to 33,000 per on a family plan. All right, Steve Moreau, anything?
I mean, I agree with Steve. I'm okay with that. I just feel like when I ran 4 years ago and I won the election, it was part of what you got as a benefit for the job. It was in place from what I believe you put it in 2005, George, or six. Do you remember? I don't remember. So I had nothing to do with whether it was there or not. I ran again this year, assuming that it would stay in place, and it's part of the benefit of the position, such as many towns have. Based on what you're saying, if it's 33,000, that's a lot of money. But at the end of the day, if I don't have it through the town, I'll have to go buy it. Ultimately, it winds up being probably a 65% reduction in the value of the benefits of the entire position. So, I just feel like it's a pretty big deal to just cut. I would have thought you and I would have had a personal conversation about it to understand where I am. I mean, I'm part of the team there, and you are the decision maker, and bring it to the forefront, and just having a conversation would have been good. But my opinion is, I think it should be left as it's been, and I think I'm the only one who actually takes it.
Okay, so what I'm suggesting then, that Steve Vedetti, Steve Monroe get together with Dave and write up what you think the motion should be. And we'll put it on the agenda for January, and I'm gonna put on what I believe it should be, and we'll see how it goes. Steve Moreau, it's awful hard to talk to you and Steve Bedetti when I haven't talked to you guys in 4 months other than in meetings. You need to stop in and see me. I don't
Sure.
need
I
to
mean,
come
and you
find
can
you,
reach out
but
to-
no,
you
I
can-
haven't talked to you in 4 months. That's the truth. Only time we talk is like this.
Yeah.
So if you want to meet, I'm here every day. So I haven't talked to either one of you in 4 months. That's the truth. Whether you want to say it's not, it is.
No, it's
So
the
I'm
truth.
here every day. You
you're
wanna
the
see
boss,
me, you
George,
should
so
come in.
I'm looking at you as the boss, would reach out to me and say, let's talk about this big
Yeah,
situation
okay.
happening.
I think that when you don't call to ask me anything about the town business for 4 months, then maybe something's wrong.
No, I've been there. I've been to several meetings.
You should come in.
Okay, I'll
I'll
come
be
in.
here tomorrow.
I always come when you invite me. Never
Do I
not
have to
came.
invite you to come in? Okay, I guess we have different opinions. I'm not gonna argue with you, we'll have a different opinion.
I'll come every
Okay.
day, then I'll stop by and see you.
What's that?
If you'd like, I'll come by every day if you'd like.
That's, but I would think that you should be interested in what's going on. Yeah, I really do.
I'm totally
That's my
interested.
opinion.
I work every day on it and I pay attention all the time.
Well, be nice to see you.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Patrick, let's kill this and we're gonna go to executive session, and that's the end of this public session. We'll see everybody Wednesday night.